I know you're the way we shout. Hey, we are live on Facebook.
Ouch.
I'm reloading my page to make sure that I see, but yes, we are live.
Okay,
Yep,
search. I'll just search to get
yes, I have it.
perfect. Mm,
Hey, hey. Do I have anybody watching yet? Let's go ahead and do our shares. Hey, I
yeah.
see one person watching. Hi, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to the House of Che Girls live show.
Hi. I'm just trying to share the link right now. Mm,
Yes. Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining us on the House of Che Girls live show.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Solange, did you share the link already? Did
Yes, so I'm
you share it on your page? That's what I meant to ask.
on my, yeah, I cannot say it yet. Let's see. Okay. Yes, I can.
Mm,
Hey, hey, thanks for joining us.
okay, I think.
Awesome, I shared. Thank you all for joining again. You're welcome to the House of Che Girls live show. I'm your girl, Soso Bips, and here with me today, as usual, we have Ice. And we're here to talk about friends. I guess you can see from the description of the video, we want to talk about friends, friendship. And before we go ahead, Ice, give a say hi before I start this.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. It's always a pleasure. It's another Sunday. Always a pleasure here, and just thanking you for like committing to come live and have this moment with us. And we have one of a very like we have a very interesting topic today, friends. And I think everybody somehow do have a friend, and it's a topic for everyone. So if you see me just
Yes,
at the other side, I'm looking at the comments. I'm not drifting my attention away from you. You have my attention 100%.
awesome. Thank you. And please remember to share the video so that your own loved ones, your own friends can join this broadcast today as we talk about this. So, again, today we're talking about friends. And before we go into what the Webster Dictionary defines a friend to be, Ice, let me start with you, right? Who would you say a friend is? What is your own personal definition of a friend?
Um, it's a friendship is a very or a friend. For me, it's broad, but to narrow it down, I would just say a friend is somebody that I can be my true version with, the best that I'm honest with, I'm open with, I'm vulnerable with, that I can trust and I can be honest with without fear of judgment. And a friend is somebody that I'm just that I can just open up myself to, like just open up myself to and feel be free with that person. That's that's a lot, but that's somebody that I consider a friend.
I see Dadimulu join. Thank you so much, Dadimulu, for joining us, and we appreciate your time. To me, okay, so to give my own perspective of who I would say a friend is, again, not very different from what you said. Somebody that I love to talk, right? I will call a friend, someone that I know that if I pick my phone and call them, they'll answer. I like my friends to be available. If I call you my friend, then what that is one of my expectations. So I'm looking at somebody that I can pick up my phone and I call and I say, hey, and you answer, right? Or even if you don't answer at that moment, you get back to me. You get it? So I look at it as somebody that you say, somebody that I can trust, somebody that I can be vulnerable with, somebody that I can. share my weaknesses with. We know that sometimes in life we find ourselves in places where we only, it's easier for us to talk about our strong points, right? It's easier for us to talk about what we are good at. It could be really challenging sometimes to talk about your failures, your weaknesses, being able to get into that spot of vulnerability and still just express yourself. So to me, that is the person that I will share this kind of information with is the person I'll call a friend. So to me, that is who a friend is. Right. So this is what we think about friendship. Let's see what Webster's dictionary defines a friend to be. What do they say a friend is, or who do they say a friend is? I say a friend is a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection. Hey, let's get this again, a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of family relations. There are two things that I look at in here in this definition. So all what Isa said and what I have said, all is all encompassed in this definition that we've gotten from Webster's, right? It talks about mutual, which means it cannot be one-sided. It has to come from both sides. If you find yourself in a place where you're the one being that friend and the other, then that is not your friend. It's time to back out. If it is not mutual, then it is not friendship. And again, where I come from, we have the tendency to say that, hey, my friends and my sisters, we say that all the time. I don't we?
We
They're
do.
my best friends. We say, yes. So the definition of friend normally will not include family relations. So we always say that, but again, it's not something that we're fond of saying that, hey, my boyfriend is my sister. And that's probably because we have a good bond as sisters. And we're fond of using that reference. But again, looking at this definition, what catches your eye or what attracts you most or what can you dissect the most from this definition from Webster's?
There are two parts: the mutual bond and the exclusive or family relation. And I'm kind of very guilty of that because a friend is somebody that I just listed a whole, like a long list of expectations that I want. It's like, say you want to date somebody, you have a list that you have to tick. Right? I just listed everything. I want to be that person, to be vulnerable, to be open, to be that. But question: am I that person? Right?
To others.
Yes, am I that person to others? I feel guilty that I am not the best friend at all times, but and also because maybe it's because I have developed a bond, that bond, rather than developing that bond with people that are exclusive of family relation. I've developed that bond with a family, but at the same time, there are things that I will not there are things I will not talk about to my sisters because I want an outside perspective as well. So for me, a friend, I just feel guilty because I'm not the best friend at all times. I just want to emphasize that at all times, which is normal. And also I have a very close relationship with my sisters that I will always say my best friend is my sister, right? So
Yeah. And Vali says a friend is someone who comes in when everyone else is going out. Yep, that is that one person that will stand and support you regardless, right? Irrespective. What are the words? That one person that no matter what, they are there. So yes, that is another. Thank you for your definition and who a friend is to you. Right. So before we go into the details and talk about what we have planned to talk about today, I want to throw this at you eyes because yeah, you just like me, you fall in that group with saying, hey, my friend is my sister or my siblings. It could be, yeah, not my siblings because I don't really tell my things to Ali or DJ, but my sisters because I tell my things to the girls and not to the boys. So, yes, if I were to ask you this, sorry, I have to put you on the spot, right? You know me, we've grown up together, and can you guess who? Do you know who my best friend is? Do I have a best friend? And would you say you know who my best friend is?
um At, at a certain right now, I don't know, but maybe 5 years, 10 years back, I could identify somebody. But right now, since no, I don't know who your best friend. But if I can go 5 years back or maybe 7 years back, I can give a name, right?
Okay. I don't mind. Do you mind? I think I'm fine with you.
The name
Give me a few names.
it's Nuela Zikuba. 5, 10, 7 years back, your friend, like somebody that I saw you shared everything, like that intimate is Nuela, and you can have more than one best. What's his best friend, by the way? What's that word? But
Who's a best
who's
friend?
best friend? Right? I don't
Right?
know what a best friend of somebody says. I don't think I use that word often. Like that is my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you got that. Yeah, Nuella has been somebody that I've confided a lot in, so she knows my deepest secrets that even my sisters don't know. So of course, Nuella is my friend. She is. I don't know if she's my best friend. I don't think I have a best friend. I doubt, but I do have friends. And again, you got that right. Dukuba is definitely one of those people I call friends. And um, yeah, and how do you, as eyes, how do you make friends, right? Or do you want me to? Do I know your best friend?
do you know my best friend?
Do you even have a best friend?
I don't know. Because I don't know what a best friend is supposed to be. I'm not sure what that word is. I cannot attach myself to something that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I know anybody that I can call your best friend, but I do know that you have friends, and one person that I could for sure, or the person is also somebody I knew from years back. I probably, as we're growing old, these things are changing, but Chocho is
Yeah,
somebody that I can tell that I know you have a friend. Is somebody that I saw friendship between you and Cholena. The
yeah.
two of you were just
My
the
brother,
kind of,
he
yeah,
shifted. So I think he bypassed that best friend and just became my brother. Like that,
yes. So
be sincere. That's the only person that a friend. That's the first friend that told me, "Hey, Ice, guess what? I really love you." Like he said it out loud. Like Ice, I love you, my sister. I love you. So
yeah.
never that was the first, but I've had friends tell me that right now, but he was the first, and I was like, what is this? That was, I if awkward, right? Like, typical me, I would just be like, oh, bro, love you too.
So so again, I know that was your friend, but in recent years you still have friends, right? You do, don't you?
I do. I do.
Okay. So let's take a few comments. I see Charles says, best friend hat. Charlie, wife have best friend with two hat. Vali says a friend is okay. A friend is a dude called Bill, right? I know you. At least if I were to tell my brother's best friend, I would definitely
Yeah.
call Bill Babila. I
So,
know for sure that that is his friend. I
yeah.
know.
OBB.
And he says he lives in Almere. He is a competition to Jesus Christ. Yes, that I know that Bill is Vali's friend, so I know
So my
his
friend
friend.
in the chat, she's saying, hey, yes, Ice, you do. How do you make friends?
And she says, yes, Ice and Chicho, that's true. Thank you, Bibi. Thanks for ignoring because that for sure too. I know. And yes, Ice, how do you make friends?
Um, I think it's because I'm just cool or something like that. No, that was a joke. I make friends. I don't. It just happens. It's spontaneous, and right now it's really difficult to make friends. But for me now, I'm very intentional on how I make friends. I want to make friends. I make the friends. I make friends that, or I go to places where I'll find people that we share the same value. Right. Last week I put it on like, hey, I'm looking for a salsa dance class. Those are the things I like to do. So I can easily pick a friend from that setting. Maybe right, I like to read right now. I can join a book club or things like that. But I'm just an open person at the same time. I just talk to people. I'm the kind of person that sits on a waiting room or on the flight or in a bus, and I intentionally put my phone away because I want to be open for people to be able to talk to me, right? So that's how I'm very intentional. the right setting, making sure that I'm going to places with people that to be with people that I share the same value with, and also intentionally keeping away the distractions. I will not have an AirPod on my ears. I keep my phone away, and I just see. I'm not reading a book in public because I want people are out there looking for friends. People are out there looking for relationships, but we are just so blocked by these devices that we're carrying around, and you don't open yourself enough for people to talk to you. So I just keep myself open with those things.
Yeah, so when you talk of you're open, you go to places and you just talk to people, you sit in waiting rooms and flights. And you say you make friends, you have an intention. Are you making these friends to fill a void? Or are you making these friends to fulfill a purpose? Or are you just trying to talk to people? Are you actually making friends or you're just talking to people?
I'm not going out there looking to find a friend. Let me get that right. So I'm not going out there like, hey, this person sitting right here, maybe, or in this salsa class or at the gym, I want this person to be my friend. No, I just keep an open, like, it's like I talk to people. If I connect with them, then that relationship can grow from there. But I also know that I don't do enough work to keep that relationship going. I can talk to somebody once or twice, and after that, it just dies away because I'm not putting in that effort. Friendships are like relationships. We don't give enough attention to our friendships the way we do to our romantic relationships because we feel like one is above the other. No, they are not. We need to start putting enough effort to keep those people around us, those friends that, as Vali mentioned, the people who stay in when everybody is going out, just like you maintain your relationships, because nobody is everybody is what's that word?
Disponible. Everybody is.
As you said,
No, not disponible is available. Everybody is.
yeah,
Just because
no,
you said it, I forgot the word now.
yeah, nobody can't be
Is
this. Everybody can walk away at a certain point. So
somebody find the word? I need that word.
is that
Somebody needs to find that word. So
yeah?
nobody is indispensable. Indispensable. Somebody find the word. If you're watching us, who knows the word Ice is looking for? Like nobody is an island. Nobody is. Okay. I'll find that word. I hate to lose words when I'm talking.
Yes.
But let's read the comments. We have Daddy Mulu. That is it. Thank you, Vali. That nobody is indispensable.
Yeah.
Thank you. You want to read Mr. Mulu's comment, please?
Yes. He says, I think the dictionary definition is deficient. Sorry. Comment. The dictionary definition.
Definition.
I know you, the chair girls, are the best friends. I honestly don't know any friends beyond your circle. I have another sister whom you all know, Auntie Olivia. Her best friend is her sister. So I just feel I just feel there are friends and there are friends. That's true. Like
So
ask
thank you, Daddy Mulu, because that's the truth. We friends. The dictionary says it should be exclusive of family relationships, but the truth is that for us, there is a lot within the family when it comes to friendship. And of course, BB says nobody is an island too, which is true. Your friends are important, they play an important role in our lives. So, quick something, Ice. I'm putting you on the spot again, and
Mhm.
that is what I love to do with you. If we say, okay, Ice has a wedding, a white wedding planned in the next 3 to 4 months, can you guarantee that you have 4 to 6 girlfriends that you will say, hey, these people will not say no to my invitation? These people are going to be my bridesmaids with no hesitation. Do you have a list? Can you think of 4 to 6 people like that in your life at this moment?
I like to be real. But I ask myself, am I will I say yes to 6 people to be their bridesmaid? No. That's the honest truth. I don't have 6 people that I'll just be like, yes. I might say like immediately yes. I don't have 6 people except the 6 sisters and maybe few girlfriends that I have out there, right? But I have 6 people who are get me right. I have 6 people. They chess and they tantos, right? I will say yes to those people.
Ice, exclusive of your sisters.
Exclusive.
Your own sisters, yes.
I have ah, I
I
think
doubt. 4, I will say yes, but 6, I'm sure you will struggle with the feet and the feet and the seat number.
6. I'll have maybe 3, 4. Yeah, I'll struggle with 6. Yeah.
You see, I know you that well.
But
Bibi is laughing in the comments.
if you mean just girls, then but if you want to add men, like
No, I said girlfriends, no boys. I know you have a ton of friends at a guy's house. I said girlfriends.
yeah,
Sometimes I know we do have. We both have friends that are close to our hearts that are boys, but we are talking about girlfriends today.
girlfriends. It's hard. I don't have 6 girlfriends I can just call to be.
Your friend Bibi and Marie Claire, they are gauging you.
Maybe they are one of the. Maybe they are just the 2 people. Or
Probably those are the only 2 people that Ice can call on to be a bridesmaid if she gets it.
maybe they are just those are the 2 people. Maybe one other person or 2 other people. Like
And Marie Claire says Ice has no friends. Those are your friends. That's what your friends are saying about you.
4.
Thank you. Thank you so much for responding to that. And
And you,
yeah,
I want to turn the question right back to you. Do you have 6 people that will show up at your?
that will say yes to being my bridesmaid if I was getting married. Yes, I think I do. I do have 6 people. I do have 6 girlfriends that I know that if I say, hey, I'm getting married in 2 weeks, I need 6 girls that I know I do have 6 girls that will. I'm confident. I believe will say yes to me because if and I put myself in the position that these people I have in mind, if they did reach out to me to and ask me to be their bridesmaid, I will say yes.
Okay.
So to me, that is a possibility. I have those people. And again, this leads us to the whole idea of let me take a few comments. Sometimes we think this is from Adama Perez. Sometimes we think we have those people, but when the time comes, they change colors. Please, Bella, don't scare me because in my heart, I know that I have those people. It happened to you. That can be awful. Don't scare me. And Marie Claire says we'll bring more. She said she has no friends.
Thank
Just so Vivi will bring friends for eyes. Awesome. But again, this brings us back to this question: how much do you? So this is not just to you, eyes, but again to those of you watching, those of you listening to us. How much do you invest in friendship? Eyes, throw some more light on that.
um I just did earlier, and I said we need to take our friendships as serious as we take our romantic relationships, because imagine that for a very long time you can find yourself single, right? Who is that person? Say you come from that family where you don't have a lot of friends. You need to fall back to something. So we don't give that time. We take our partners to therapy. We take our our husbands and wives to therapy. We have serious issues with our friends that we've like told secrets to. We have shared a lot with. We've gone through different experiences with, but we don't put in time to heal when we break up. We need to put in that time. Am I saying this because I do it? No, I don't do it. But maybe I have to, and I know I have to do it because lately, maybe the past 3 4 years, I've just been, oh, I got my sisters, I got my cousins, maybe I got my few male friends, my sisters' husbands, this and that. That's my circle, right? And maybe some classmates, and I have a friend and that friend knows that will intentionally call me all the time and check even when I don't do. They'll be like, hey, are you okay? And that friend knows, right? They'll intentionally do that. But am I that friend that will take that extra mile to do that? I'm not that person, right? But we need to also invest in our friendships because you want something. You can't stay back and expect that love will be shown to you when you're not giving out love. To whom love is given, it is expected, right?
Oh, come on. That was the gospel today. I know you don't go to church often. Are you in church?
In church today. I was in church today.
No doubt you said that.
So So it's very important for you to invest. If I don't invest, like the kind of relationship that I had with my friend Chocho, is because we invested a lot in each other. We're able
Yeah.
to tell each other we're sorry. It's not like, oh, every time was perfect. No, it was because we were able to, like, we disagreed, but we came back and was like, hey, bro, look, I'm sorry. This is why I did what I did, and I understood the weak points that he had. That's one person in my life that if he says that I stand and wait for me, I'll never wait, because I know he will not show up on time. Right. So we need to go these extra miles to, like, these extra miles to invest in our friends, tolerate their excesses, and accept it the way we accept it from our partners, from our siblings, from our lovers, and all that. We need to go that extra mile, because guess what? We're not doing enough for our friends, but we
So
expect.
before you go further on that topic, right? So one thing I wanted to ask you is, when you say yes, as friends, people fall out, right? Then you want to. So your advice is, hey, we should put in more time. We should invest more, right? Be able to fall out with a friend, talk about it, then come back. And when this happens, right? Do you still put that friend on the same pedal? Do they still, if your people fall out, something happens and you could get back together, are you able to trust that friend again at the same level? Do you find yourself in a position where you can still be open to them and tell them your deepest secrets, right? Do you think that that is possible?
Yes, it's very possible, because first of all,
Rebuilding trust.
you
Mhm.
want to ask yourself that, and there is something that sincerity comes from the heart. If you're sincere to me, I will know that you're sincere. It's like with your relationships. Somebody is disagreeing with me, on the comments, but I totally understand. I'm not saying you give the same amount of time you invest in your friend, you should equal that to your husband or your wife. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just giving an example of how much we are not investing in our friendships. And now to your question, if I break up with a friend, and let me tell you, the only reason why I have some people in my life that I call friends today, somebody like my friend Chocho, is because we have had conversations. We have had the hard talk, like, hey, what you did, I didn't like it. And I have friends today where we've had those conversations, like, hey, I didn't, when you go that extra mile, it's like with your parent or your sibling or your romantic partner. When you have those deep conversations, you connect even more. That's the truth about life. When you're vulnerable with somebody, that person opens up more. If you've not experienced it, try it. If you've not experienced that level of trust, I like to be deep with people. I hate shallow conversations. So I have friends I go really deep with, and we have built a bond that we never had, even when we knew each other. We're classmates for a very long time. But because we sat, my friend Bibi, when she visited me here, we didn't go anywhere. We sat at home. I cooked and we ate. After like 5 years of separation, we're classmates. That's an example. We're classmates, and we went to the same university, but we're just shallow friends. We'll just meet at parties and talk. But the day she visited Maryland and came, and we sat and we talked the whole evening, for me, that was where we connected, because we understood our values. We talked. We had a real talk, and we're able to understand each other's value and respect them from those from that perspective. So I'm not asking you to equal. Hey, I spent 3 hours with my husband today, I'm going to spend 3 hours with my friend. That is not even real. It's not realistic. But I'm just saying that you should give more time to these relationships that we think they will last forever, or they don't matter. They do matter. I have a friend that we had a breakup, and we are friends. We are not friends today, but I miss him because I didn't invest. When I called him and I asked, like, dude, what's happening? And he told me why he was angry. Then I realized that I didn't give him that attention that he needed. I still miss my friend today. It's going to take time. It's even worse now because we are not in the same city or the same country, but I miss my friend.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for all your, we see you. Thanks you, Colin. Thank you, Collins, for joining. And yes, Marie Claire says if you feel your friend did something to hurt you, instead of taking the smile, talk about it for better friendship. And yes, that is definitely true. Talking about it. Again, talking about the whole friendship thing. And hi, Mamulu, we see you. Thanks for joining. Talking about the whole friendship thing in the comments, right? What do you think? What are some of the things that affect your friendships? Like, what are some of the things that really that breaks this friendship for you? Is it because people change, people move away, people travel out of cities? Is it because people's statuses change? Is it because, again, when I talk of status change, it could be anything, right? It could be status, life status. It could be marriage. It could be work. It could be anything, right? Anything that changes somebody's status. Have you lost friends because of things like that? Or and again, it could be like, hey, somebody got a better job, they're making way money now, and they feel like you're no longer in that class with them that they want to associate with you. Or somebody got married, and all of you are not married yet, and all of a sudden you become the unmarried one that the other person wants to make now friends with other married people. Different things happen. Remember that friendship is something that we are building as we grow up. And as we grow up, life is happening. Things are changing. We are achieving stuff. We are losing stuff, right? Everything is evolving around us. And as these things are happening, our friendships are getting affected, right? So that's why I always give a big kudos to people who have been friends for a really long time, who have gone through the hurdles of life together and still stand by each other. For me, you gave an example of your friends that of maybe friends that you. I'm one person that I invest. I try my best. I don't have many friends because I invest a lot in friendship. I personally do. I'm one person that if I call somebody my friend, and when I have a friend, I guess my whole family knows about them because I talk about that person like every day. Like, hey, you do you one of my most popular friends as I moved out of Cameroon. Yes, somebody like Nuela, I still talk to her, but one of my most popular friends within my household has been Zax. Right. People have spoken about Zax until one time. My mom thought that Zax was my boyfriend. He's not. It's just because I talk so much about him. And he's a body, right? Do we disagree? Yes, we disagree. Again, life will happen. At a certain point, I find that I have to start respecting the choices he makes. He has to respect the choices I make. This strains a relationship. Then we try to find ourselves in a position where we can come back together and say, hey, this thing happened. I know that you felt pushed away or you felt pushed aside, but you know what? This is us, we are adults, we need to come back together. Are these things that you put an effort in your relationship? You can have a friend and all of a sudden that person chooses to be with a life partner that probably you don't connect with, which is normal in life. You don't connect with everybody in life, right? Do you support them? This still ties back to the our discussion on love ice a few weeks ago when we say I asked you that if I made a decision in life, will you support me because you love me? The same thing applies to our friends, right? Will you support your friends' decisions even if you think that it is not the best decision to make? So I throw that out to the comments again just to get your view and again just to make this as interactive as possible. So thank you so much for sharing that. And eyes again, I love this because I have the opportunity to bombard you and make you talk your mind. How does your friendship grow, right? How do you fuel your friendship? Like, yes, you've called a number of names here that are people that are your friends. What do you do to fuel this friendship so it can grow and make it sustainable?
I'm real. First of all, I'm real. I'll it's very important for me not to. I'm one person that is very hard to be pressured, and I'm just real. And
Do you fake it? Do you find the need to fake it sometimes?
I don't. I don't. I'm real, and sometimes I'm too real that maybe that's why some of my friends, some of the people that I thought, oh, the people that I was about to build friendships with, just walk away because. So I fuel my friendships by being real. That's how I do it. That's just simple. I'm real. I'm not trying to be what I'm not. And I try to put in effort in building. If I if that person and I are not working towards things that will build us spiritually, career wise, and just as a person, I don't find interest in it anymore. I lose interest very fast in very shallow friendships, in things that don't match my value. So I'm just real.
What you've just said takes me to another point, which is part of what we had as a topic to this topic of this discussion: the role that friends have. So when you're talking of people who don't match your values, right? Yes, I know we want to make friends that we share values with, friends that we, as we say, I personally think that I don't have to agree on everything with somebody I call a friend. Sometimes we just have to agree to disagree because we are friends, even partners, like people who have been together, lovers, husband and wife, right? You don't necessarily need to agree on everything, right? Because in as much as we are together, we are still individuals. So I'm one person that believes in the power of an individual. Before you become somebody's partner, somebody's friend, somebody's sister, somebody, you are a person of your own. And that's why I believe so much in making yourself whole first before you can share with another person. So will you say that the friends you have in your life today play different roles, right? You have a friend for a specific need. You have a friend that satisfies a specific, that fills a specific void. Would you say you have a friend that when you feel this way, you think this is the right person to talk to? If you want to go partying, this is the right person to talk to. If you want to travel, this is the right person to talk to. Do you have that kind of differentiation in your friendship?
Yes,
Friendship.
yeah, yes, I do have it, but I don't have friends for everything because some things I just be my own friend at this point. Yeah, I have friends for different reasons because it's my friend that I have. I'm still connected to my friends that were from primary school. We have a different kind of friendship, right? They play a different kind of role. When I want to go to the past, we go there. Then I have a friend that we grow, like we talk the career together, we talk relationships together, we talk the difficult moments. We have those conversations. But do I have a friend right now? I don't have a friend that we hit the gym together. I don't have that. I don't have that friend. That fear friend, the friend that is really. I don't have that. Do I have a?
Adelaide.
Do I have? There are so many parts of my life that it's still void of friendship that I just either tap from my siblings or I just do it myself because it's just hard to keep these relationships. It's too hard. It's a lot.
Yeah, and that's why I always say I respect people who have tons of friends because
Hard.
it is not easy. I don't have a ton, but I always feel like in order to even because again when we talk about friendship, right, we are not only looking at what people do for us or to us or how they can what who they can be to us. It's also about us what we are willing to let go of, right? It's also looking at measuring like, hey, what am I willing to give out? What am I willing to let go of? Because if I say yes, I just responded here that yes, I have 6 people, and Sandrine says she's going to corner me after this call. Let me name those 6 people because she doesn't believe me. She thinks I don't have those 6 people, but I'll surprise her. And this answers that question: am I available to those 6 people? The same way that I have just mentioned here that I know that if I call them today that hey, I'm getting married in December, they will be there for me. You get it? So again, I really wonder how people keep many friends because the energy is a lot. It
Yeah,
takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of
it's expensive.
dedication,
It's
emotions, money,
yeah,
everything. Right? Look at me. I'm a queen of birthday wish list. Right? When my birthday is coming, I'm harassing people to send me a gift. Right? I will reach out to these friends and I follow them up to make sure am I willing to buy these gifts too for these other 6 people that I've mentioned. So you see that it is a two-sided thing.
Yeah.
How much can you sustain it? How much can you give? Can you give as much as you expect? You get it?
Yeah.
Marika says the same thing. She doesn't have a ton of friends. And Colin says, yeah, I've fallen out with friends because some get well paid jobs and I do and decided not to pick up my call. Lifestyle changes. Yes, that is true. Those are things that we see every day. People change friends or they drop a group of friends because they have gone to another level, right? Oh, that's
Please, what Collins mentioned, let me just put more light on. It's very important that for me, I'm one person that I can be around a group of people and you never know what I do. Because I don't want to build a friendship based on what I
based
do.
on.
If I want to build a friendship based on what I do, I'll build a work friendship. I'll go to those networking events. So when I go to events right now and I see people standing and it's okay to talk about your career. It's for me, it's very fine. But personally, it's my personal principle that I don't center my conversation around career, how much I make, lifestyle. No, I talk about real things. Like, and when I and they can still be real things, but I want to just connect with people on a very simple level, right? And we can all be doctors, but we still have a conversation that will not be talking about how many patients that you treated this week. You want to have the conversation that I have with you as my sisters. Like, we talk about very basic things. Let's talk about music. Let's talk about not movie, because I hardly know. I don't watch a lot of movies. Let's talk about other things, politics. Those things that we can find a common interest around that is not directed to an individual. So some people just, you find some friends just walk away from others, not because something happened, but because they feel like, oh, this all you talk about? I don't fit in that level. Oh, I'll just have to walk away. So
Did you read my mind? I
my
was just going to talk about this.
personal opinion. People can talk about their achievements. That's fine, but for me, it's my personal opinion.
I think again, of course, that I would differ with you when it comes to that kind of thing because just like with Charlene, I differ a lot because she's one person that will never talk about her work. Never. She will never talk about her work. And when I have conversations like this with her, and she's like, "Why do I need to say it?" But on the other side, what Bibi just said in the comment is what I was actually preparing my mind to talk about when you're saying this. Is this whole concept of, "Hey, what do you do?" I have been a victim of this question a million times. And I personally do not like that question because people ask you that question because I will not lie to you, 90% of the time, it's not because they are particularly interested in what you do, but they just want to know. They want to determine how much weight, as Bibi says. See, people want to weigh you before they connect with you. That is so true. I have experienced it a million times. They want to know what you do so that it will determine the kind of respect they give you, right? They want to know what you do so that it will determine if they should come and talk to you again or not. I'm sure that each and every one of us, or anybody that happens to listen to this, you've probably experienced that before. At some point in my life, it pissed me so much that when somebody asks me a question, hey, nice to meet you, this, and I'm somebody that I've walked around a bit, I've moved to different places. I'm like, hey, what do you do? And I'm like, I asked one guy some time ago, like, why did you ask? So I'm in this milieu of people who are mostly pharmacists, medical doctors, and all these kinds of people, right? At that point, that is when I was learning to transition into IT. At that point, I was doing my nurse assistant, and it just happened that that community was mostly this medical high end medical professionals, right? The RNs, the doctors, the pharmacists. Majority, I can say, in that crew of about 14 people, there were just about two people there that were not like the high end medical professionals. And they have friends that have come in from town and we're meeting. And about three people asked me that same question, like, what do you do? I find myself in a position where I'm like, are these people asking because they want to know if I'm one of them, or they're really asking because they want to, they just want to know what I do? So I told two of them that I'm a nurse assistant, but one of them I refused to respond to. And later on, that one person that I refused to respond to came back to me and said, "Hey, um, I just found you." After some time, came back and said, "Hey, I just found you on Facebook, and somebody that knows you said, hey, you." I'm like, "No." Did the person probably talk to someone who knew my background in academia? And I was like, "No, I'm no longer into research. I do something else now. I'm no longer a student, or I'm not doing no book work now. I'm a CNA." And he was like, "Oh, wow." I could see his facial expression. So a lot of people who
That
do that. Yeah, a lot of people. I've experienced it, and it
yeah,
irritates me a lot. So I
it,
don't want to
it,
talk too much about it.
it's just our community, it's just our society. They want to know. See, my typical, I have, first of all, our community, or maybe our community, we don't know how to connect. Maybe that's something that we should learn how, we should talk about. That could be our next, in our next session, how to network in social events and in professional events. I would like us to do that. Then also, there are things I don't just respond to. Typical example, when they ask me, like, which school do you go to? And I got this from our elder brother. I tell people I went to an evening school. That's what I went to an evening school. I Those schools of ostentation that you want to build friendships.
You're hoping to hear from.
I'm not going to call any name. Then my typical a typical question I ask people, and I use it both on professional events and social events. I'm like, just to get a perspective of their values, their interests, what they're into. I ask them, if you have a day that they say you have a day that you don't need to do anything, tell me what you do. You don't have to work, you don't have to take care of family. What will you do with your day? Try to use that question and ask somebody that if you just met for the first time. It will give you more insight, and they'll want to talk more rather than asking them, what do you do? "Oh, I'm a nurse." That's it. The conversation ends there. But ask somebody, if you have a full day without work and family to take care of, what will you do? Now they'll start talking about their passion, which is
Yeah.
the level in which you want to connect with somebody, the things that they're interested in. Those are the books that you've read, things like that. It's gonna open them up better than asking a very lame question like, what do you do? That question should be one of the last questions you ask in your networking conversation.
Yeah, that's a really huge one. That's a big one. Again, that's something that I'll definitely take with me as well. Like, hey, having somebody talk, meeting somebody for the first time, and doing the icebreaker instead of asking about work, or their family life or something, just asking them what they would do if they were not working or taking care of family. I think just thinking about it now actually triggers some thoughts in me, and I bet it's true that it's probably going to have somebody say more. I see another comment from Bella. Marie says, old friendships are better than new ones. And Bella says, I don't have friends anymore because I don't want to be in competition with anybody. People want to know your job before they see if they can connect with you. So I keep my friendship with my siblings. I have seen a woman who was doing well in business, and peer pressure made her to go study nursing. Now it's been 7 years and she hasn't passed the board exams. Now the same friends are talking behind her back, and she's back to zero. Yes, yes. This is just a typical example,
Yeah, it's
right?
crazy.
Very typical. And it happens a lot within our community,
Yeah.
like a whole lot. They'll push peer pressure. Sometimes when we were growing up, I used to think that peer pressure was a
Oh
teenage thing,
no,
right? I used to think peer
no.
pressure was a teenage thing. Your friends, the kind of friends you keep, can drive you cocos for real. So again, thanks for sharing that. And Bibi says I learned all these responses from Ice because she told me yes, that since that day my ideology has changed, and I agree. Yes, you are lucky to have somebody like Ice as a friend, because one thing she does is she says it as it is.
Yeah.
So you use her a lot for that. And I, so before we're about to close the show, but
So
before we do,
want to answer Maria's question. She said, Ice, how do you handle friends that continuously hurt you? How do you feel? That's my question. Do you imagine you're wearing a shoe that pinches your pinky toe all the time? What do you do with that shoes?
Thrift store.
Either
Sell
you,
it on Facebook Market.
either you hand that shoes over to somebody that fits, that is just gonna fit better, or you throw it away and or you put it in the closet and
I
keep
love
it
that.
there or shift it out. So what I do with friends that continuously hurt me, I just break up with them. And I can
I
break up.
love, I love the way you use that word breakup, you know.
Yeah, because I break up with you and you don't even know that I've broken up with you. I just break up with you in a very nice way and I continue. And I'll tell you, if you ask me why, I'm going to tell you why. That, you know what, I don't like these. These are things I can. No, I can. You can't keep yourself. You can't be hurt by somebody that is not even related to you directly. Like, I'm being rough right now, but I can't. You can't put yourself in that shoes. No, get out of it. It's like being in an abusive relationship.
Yeah,
There are
nice
also,
response there.
it's not just romantic relationships. They are abusive friendships. So you have to be careful out there.
That's right. So before we close the show, we want to make a quick reference to we've spoken about friends, who is a friend, and now a lot of us get confused with hey, the whole friend and friends and acquaintance thing. So I wanted to read out a quick definition of who we saw who a friend is, right? And now who is an acquaintance, right? An acquaintance is a person whom one knows slightly, but who is not a close friend. So it is not that an acquaintance is somebody with whom you do not share that bond, that mutual bond, right? But it's somebody that you know slightly. Most of the times, I think we find ourselves in positions where we think that people that are actually acquaintances to us are our friends. Then we start having expectations. Then the next thing is we are so disappointed. So it's important that you put yourself in a position where you can draw a line between who a friend is and who an acquaintance is. Right? I bet that helps a lot. That will help you. It will reduce some of the hurt. It
Yeah.
will reduce some of the disappointment. It will reduce the emotional blackmail. Right? All of those things. If you can draw a line between who your friends are and who your acquaintances are.
Yeah.
That's ice.
Yeah. It's very, this is very toxic just thinking about it, because I'm sitting here, I'm thinking like people are out here saying, oh, this is my friend. It's like having a boyfriend or a girlfriend that don't love you back. It's toxic because you're sitting there, oh, that's my friend. Why are you thinking that person is your friend? Like, why are you calling that person your friend when they've not done anything to show that they're your friends? Why do we do that to
Thick
ourselves?
skin. It could be just thick skin now.
Very okay not to have more than two friends or to have just one friend. It's very okay. There's nothing not you see this pressure from on social media where people hang out and they go places. You see them with a lot of friends, or I have my girlfriend crew. All those things are fake. To be real, they are fake. Fake. Those people don't have
Some.
a very close relationship the way they show them on Facebook. They are fake. Stop looking at those things. They are fake. All those people, especially girls that move around. My crew of girlfriends, so we'll go getting lunch. My friend sent me a restaurant last week. Yesterday, and I said, is this a new restaurant in Dixie? I said, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm not going to there. I'm trying to lose weight. And by the way, it's expensive. Right? So stop imagining things. It's like I'm imagining that, oh, I'm in love with this girl. That girl doesn't love you. Just like your friend doesn't care or give a shit about you. Stop calling those people your friends. I have so,
So,
I have so many acquaintances. Like when I walk places, people, I know a lot of people, but I have a very, very few friends. And sometimes at a certain point, I do not even have friends.
and Charlene says, Auntie Isis, wow, today.
Yeah, because
That is
sit and call people their friends. and they are not their friends, and they call you, and you who is really their friend, you have to sit and listen to all these complaints,
All the
all the
rantings
right.
and stuff. Yeah.
She did that because guess what? She's not your friend.
Yeah, that's true. So again, the line, you want to be able to draw that line between friendship and acquaintances, right? If you want to be able, and Marie says people have issues that they're really dealing with personally, such that having arguments with friends cannot be a priority at all. Like you don't even want to go through that. And to me, that has helped me, Marie. From what you've said, I think that I have the place I find myself in life. I might not have a ton of friends, but I have peace, right? Because I don't have to deal with a lot of things. I do have a lot of peace that I bet that some people don't have out there. So that works for me. And thanks, Eric Packer, for joining. Like Cindy said in her song Lawyer, it's okay if I only have four people um as long as them be short people. Okay. Okay. That's true.
Yes,
Yeah.
one thing.
Have four people that I can trust.
Yeah, one thing is you can have friends that you don't communicate with every day, but it's that person where you sit and you pick up the phone and you talk for 2 hours. I go 2 3 months I don't talk with my friend Chocho, but when he calls me, we talk for 2 hours, and we know we are friends. So it's okay not to communicate every day, but you are friends because
That's
people are busy.
Hey, Charlene, thank you for the stars. Hey guys, send us stars. I just saw that we got some stars. Thank you so much.
Did this Marie Claire and Bibi, go in there and put some stairs, please.
Thank you for so much. Thanks, thanks for the stars. And what you just said, right? It's like you probably had a conversation with Charlene. I spoke with Charlene. I was like, I just threw this topic at her and said, hey, this is what Ice and I are planning to talk about today. And she was like, so I always attack her. I'm like, girl, you have no friends. And she said that same thing you just said, like, hey, to have a friend doesn't mean I need to talk to somebody every day, right? She has her friend, so I was questioning her. I'm like, hey, you say your friend is Esa. How often do you talk with Esa? And she was like, I don't talk with Esa every day. I can go for weeks without talking to her. But the one time that I talk to her, that is what matters to us. And that is what defines our friendship. So that actually got me thinking. And when she said that, I thought of my friend Estelle, right? I don't talk to Estelle every day. I don't talk to Estelle every week. I can go a month without talking to her. But when we talk, we talk. So that is one thing that definitely made me realize, because unlike my other friend Zach that I used to talk to every day, I have like this is a case where I don't need to talk to you every day, but we are still friends. So you brought that up, and I remembered that point that Charlene brought up. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting topic. We're hitting an hour. I know
Oh,
there's a lot to talk about this, but you don't want to keep people for more than an hour.
and the last question I had here was like, hey, can you have more than one best friend? We have touched this already somehow, but would you say, can you have, is it realistic to have more than one best friend?
Realistic because friends have different roles in my life. So I have a best friend that I go spiritual with. I have a best friend that I talk career with. I have a best friend that I so it's very possible because my friends, I don't have a friend that fills every blank space
Everybody, yeah.
void in my life. I have friends for different reasons. So you can have more than one best friend. And you there is this thing you sit here thinking she's my best friend. Your best friend has another best friend. So
And yeah, and that is how life happens, right? Unfortunately, that's just how life happens. And yes, I also believe that you can have more than one best friend.
I don't use that
And
word. I don't use best friend word for what it means.
you can have many best friends, that's what Bibi says. And yes, again, I have a friend that if I needed somebody to pray for me, I believe so much in. I have a friend that prays for me. I have a friend that if I need somebody to like, hey, I have this intention in my heart, and I call them. I'm like, please say prayer for me. Sandra will do that for me. Come rain, come sun. She will wake up from her sleep and go on her knees and pray for me. That is the void that Sandra Cho plays in my life, right? That is that friend. We might not talk about other things too much, but that particular thing, I have a feeling in me that she feels that void, and I can shout out to her, reach out to her and say, hey, man, I'm struggling with this. Please, can you say a prayer for me? And I know she will.
Yeah,
So
I have to say
let's
I have to, because you just said this and this came to mind. We just about having friends that fill different voids in our lives, right?
What void do you feel?
What void, like, what
Which
I do in your life? If I'm your friend, let me know. Then, out of topic a little bit, we have relationships with people, romantic relationships, and you expect one person to
to
feel
feel all of these voids?
real. It's hard. We will talk about this someday. I'm just throwing that there.
So, Bibi and Marie Claire, I threw this question at you people. What void is she feeling in your lives? I thought this is a question was meant for you girls. If she feels a void in your life, what void does she feel? And yes, as we round this up, we just hit 1 hour. And quick conclusion is like we have seen on social media, in the past 1 year or the past years, I've been more engaged in social media. I see more things than again. I bring all the vibe to you people, and you're like, so much is always on social media. And yes, that is true. And I have seen and heard a lot of saga, as our Cameroonians call it, violence. In which case, it's like friends releasing stuff about friends telling their friends secrets. Friends, they say, hey, this person has released this person's thing. Maybe you confided in a friend, you did something. Like I just said, growing up, Nuella is one person that carries my deepest secrets in her heart, right? Then someday Nuella just decides to go public and say, hey, Solange did this, Solange did this, Solange did this, and stuff like that. When do you have friends like that, right? How do you like in with all of this happening, what is the problem? What do you think the issue is? Why are friends turning against their friends? Why are friends revealing deep secrets about their friends again on social media or telling other people? This is definitely something that I've wondered about. I've thought about it and I've asked myself, what can a friend do to me that I'll just wake up one day and release something confidential that they have shared with me? I keep praying every day that I never get to that point. That if you find yourself in that kind of a situation, are you the kind of friend that will release somebody's confidential information because they hurt you?
Um, if you tell, you guys always say I steal your friends, right?
Yes, you are a friend thief. You
And
are.
there are things about that your friends will tell me, and thinking that I might
You're
tell you,
gonna come tell me.
I will never do such a thing. That's just beneath me to do. That's just beneath, because I feel like if somebody takes the time to tell me something, it's just beneath me. I hope I never get to that level. I never
Yeah.
I hope I never drop to that level. Because, and I'm just thinking about it. Do I have something that I'm scared that a friend is going to send out? Do you know who my biggest do you know the person that I tell my biggest secret to?
Do you want to share that on Facebook?
It's me.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you so much for the stars. We appreciate you. We love some stars, people.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ari.
So me, it's first it's very important to have conversations with yourself. So I have a lot of conversations with myself. And
Guys, you're weird.
yes, so it's I just yeah. It's just
You're
been
weird.
it's just been me telling a secret, like I cannot. It's
Yeah, and remember that is actually that is I don't want to call it a talent. Not everybody. Again, you are my sister. We share genes and stuff, but personally, I need to talk to somebody.
I talk
Unlike you and Charlene,
I
I know that I've had this conversation with Charlene too. You people, you can talk. Even if I don't talk to a friend, I would definitely talk to either you, Charlene, or Sandrine. Maybe not to Mamulu, but at least because she's older and she might look at it differently. So
no
between you, Sandrine, and Charlene, I will feel more comfortable
I
saying some of the stupid things I do too, right?
the difference with us is I go to a therapist.
That's true.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
talk to a therapist. I go the professional way. Somebody,
Please.
somebody I do for telling my secret. Yeah, I talk to therapist.
Yeah, that's a good one. Again, just the importance of having a therapist, having someone that you can air your mind to. And I will talk to myself as you do, as you say some of the time, but sometimes I want to know, I have a weak point, and that weak point is closure, right? I'm always looking for closure. I'm that one person that will want to find closure. So when I find people struggling with that, I don't judge because I know that I find myself in that position as well.
Yeah,
So that is a difference. People say we look alike, but they forget to know that in as much as we look alike, we are very different.
very different.
Yes.
One thing
Have
that
you seen?
and one thing that helps me for people who are thinking like, how do you do it? I meditate. The day I started meditating, not praying, meditating, I was able to find my own closure by just doing things like that. So, like the truth is, you know the truth about what is happening in your life most of the time, but you're just afraid to tell
You
yourself
just
that
want to hear from another
you
person.
want
Mhm.
that person.
That's true. Sometimes you stick up to people not because what they're going to say will be different. I'll talk to people, they'll say what they say, but I'll still do what I feel like I want to do. So you ask yourself, why did you even talk to them? You get it? So, wow, this was a great topic. We thank you for so much for joining. We
So
love you for all the wonderful stars that you've sent. This is actually our first show that we've had people send out stars live, and we are so proud of you. We appreciate it.
yeah,
Next week, we're going to be talking about, so when we can know our topic, we'll not mind to share with you. Next week, I thought we're talking about the power of humility,
yeah,
right? We want to talk about humility next week. So next Sunday, catch us live at the same time, 8 p.m. West African time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch us live and please come ready with the stars. Show us some love,
yes.
pump us hearts, share the video. And yes, next week, come with your thoughts ready, come with your questions ready for the power of humility. Ice, end
Thank
the
you very
show.
much, very very much. It's always a pleasure. As I always say, we don't take your time for granted. We don't take your likes for granted. The love you're pouring out there for granted. The loves and of course the stars. We We love you. We love you. We really, really love you. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And we ask for feedback. That's how we
Yes,
that's how
please.
feedback. Send your feedback directly or on the comment section. We don't mind to take it. We're open for those. Thank you.
Yes.
God bless.
And topics as well. If you have topics that you would like for us to talk about, do
Yeah.
not hesitate to send those topics. We
Yeah.
definitely appreciate it. Marie sends a big nail, like what's that, a hammer.
Shout out to my friends
Thank,
section.
thank you for so much, and thanks for joining us. Have a blessed Sunday and a blessed week ahead. Bye bye.